Today we have the 2024 Nissan Z NISMO. Now this year Nissan updated the Z and gave us this track-ready NISMO model, which is $14,000 more than the Performance. And in this video, we're going to take a deep dive at the exterior, the interior, and get it out on the road for a test drive. And I'm going to tell you all about this NISMO. Now, as we take a look at the exterior here, this NISMO model is going to slot in right above the Performance grade, which I showed you before. And it doesn't just get the name, it gets redesigned bodywork compared to the Performance model, an extended front fascia for a more aggressive and track-inspired look. The whole front grille is revised, and this red line running all the way to the back will tell you that you have a NISMO, and it looks great. Of course, you're going to get the same LED headlights with the two half circles inspired from the 1970s. And this is the passion red with the black roof. It can come with the NISMO. You can also get it on some others, but 5 colors come with the NISMO, and it just really looks nice. 19-inch gloss black wheels here, and the tires are even going to be wider and grippier for the NISMO model. Dimensions stay the same at about 172 inches long, the same front midship rear-wheel drive design, so you've got the engine far back in the chassis for good balance. Speaking of chassis, you get an enhanced chassis rigidity for the NISMO. It uses steel drive shaft components instead of carbon fiber now. And in the back, you even get an extended spoiler compared to the other models, and a nice looking exhaust. Now, the cargo area is unique with this Z. It's not your typical trunk. You get an entire lift bag, so it actually gives you a little more space than you might think. Space is wide, and it goes all the way through to the seats. There's no really divider there, but you get a tire mobility kit back here, no spare tire, and I think it's going to be just fine for most of you. All right, now let's take a look at the key fob. So, of course, nothing's really different here. You got the same Nissan key fob you're familiar with. It doesn't say NISMO or anything on it. This is just like what you'll see in other models. There's no remote start on here, but you get these mostly flush door handles that I showed you before. This is the button to lock it or to unlock it, and you'll get a flash in the mirror. Pop this door open, and in here we're going to get some red leather with Alcantara in here. These seats look nice. These are Recaro Performance seats. You got the NISMO on there as well, the NISMO branding. They are very bolstered and bucket-like. You'll absolutely be able to feel that when we sit in here. All manual adjustment on here too, so just your height and your tilt and forward, no lumbar adjustment. This NISMO model gives us a red stripe on that steering wheel, so you've got that center stripe. This has the same kind of Alcantara on the sides and leather up here, so you got some nice grip with that Alcantara in there. And comfort is pretty good. These seats are kind of narrow. That is something to keep in mind. And the Performance model gets heated seats, but this one does not. And adjustment wise, this steering wheel can go in and out and up and down, all manual. Now the back seat does have a little storage area right there. You know, like I said, the trunk passes through, but the back seat, just some little storage areas. There's actually not a back seat. That's not what I meant, but you know what I mean. Little storage nook, which is convenient. When looking at the interior, this still gives you a new and somewhat modern feel, but still very familiar to what you have expected from older Nissans as well. But let's go ahead and dive in. So over on the door, you've got this material, this Alcantara material down there. Up here is a softer touch material. Little bottle holder down there, nothing too big. But I'll show you some more. We've got red buttons over here, so push button start right there. I like that little Z animation on there, and you've got an all digital display here actually, so this is nice. You've got like a 12+ inch display on here. There's a lot of information that you can see on here too. You've got the steering wheel controls to be able to go through all kinds of different stuff. Pretty typical of what you've seen in other Nissans, but you know, maybe you didn't expect that on the Z, but you get a lot of different info. And if you're not a fan of the way this looks, you can go to the settings tab on here. Let's go to vehicle settings. You can adjust some of the locking mechanisms, the lighting, things like that. Let's also go to this personal display. You can navigate through more pieces of information on here on what you can see on each side. And we can change this display. So check it out. Look at this. You can adjust the way things appear on here. Even driver assist features, and you do get a fair amount on here. You even get adaptive radar cruise control and the lane keeping system too. Nissan also gives you some paddle shifters here. We'll test those out in the test drive and take a look. And take a look at these gauges. You know, this looks pretty neat on here too. You've got some retro looking style on the inside, but you still get these large displays, you know, kind of the modern amenities. This is all manual climate control down here though, something that's a little bit different. Instead of automatic climate, everything is manual, and I honestly have really enjoyed that. But we got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you don't have to be plugged in, but there is not a wireless charging mat. There's a little storage area down there, a USB-A and a USB-C plug, but no wireless charging. You will get a Bose audio system on here though, so that is something to keep in mind. You've got some shortcuts right here too, which is always nice. You can quickly get to where you want and where you need, customize your controls, even though this Nissan system does look and feel outdated. Down there, you got your push button start. You've also got your drive modes over here. So let me go through those. So we've got our normal mode, the standard, and then you have sport and you have sport plus, and we'll go through those in the test drive. The shifter right here, you got park on top. So you just push that to park, push this lever in and move it to go into reverse or back into drive, or even again, pull back into manual mode, but you can use your paddle shifters at any time. Let's go back into reverse, take a look at our backup camera. You will get dynamic lines on here as well. You can see where you're teased, where you don't have your heated seats, but you can release the trunk, the lift back right there, even though it is manual. You got an actual handbrake, and then you got one cup holder here. It's big enough for a large bottle like that. You can slide this armrest back and reveal another cup holder. Then you can pop that up and reveal a little bit of storage space. It's pretty tight in there, not a lot fits, but it's something. But I do like this idea of this sliding armrest, where if you got someone you need an extra drink, you can do that. Otherwise, you can keep it up and have this padded armrest. Nissan actually gives you a locking glove box. This is an automatic dimming rearview mirror as well. You can see that with the garage controls. Overhead lighting, everything's pretty standard up here. No sunglass holder on there. And the visors don't move themselves to slide out. You just have a sliding little piece. And of course, there's no sunroof on here or anything like that. This roof is so tiny anyways. And a quick look out the back, you've got some pretty big blind spots there, but I really haven't had any troubles if you adjust your mirrors right. And Nissan even gives you blind spot indicators right on the inside of the car here. Now under the hood, Nissan is still going to give us this twin turbo V6, just like you get on the Performance and the Sport, but this one has more power. So with this direct injected 3-liter V6 twin turbo, we now get 420 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque, healthy bumps compared to the other engine, and it's only paired with a 9-speed automatic. So if you were hoping to get this Nismo model with the manual transmission like you can with the others, you can't. 9-speed is the only way you can get it. However, it is retuned and it's got Nismo only clutch pack, so it's supposed to have faster downshifts, and it even has a bigger oil cooler now. All right, y'all, we're now behind the wheel of this Nismo, and I've got to say this car is 100% fun. Now, the regular Z, I've driven the Performance model too, and that is fun. I mean, you've got that fun factor with the coupe, with the rear-wheel drive, and you can get it in manual or automatic. But one big difference with this Nismo is this suspension, 100%. That is the absolute biggest factor that stands out to me, is that this feels like a go-kart sometimes. It is not the most comfortable, but if you just want something that feels extremely involved or something that's extremely visceral, this Nismo delivers it. Not only does it sound nice, it drives nice, it's very responsive, and this transmission, as Nissan says, has been retuned, so this 9-speed is going to be quicker, going to be more fun. And we have a brand new drive mode, the Sport Plus, which is going to stiffen up the steering. It's going to give you a little bit more laxity with the traction control, and it's going to make this transmission even more spot on for its faster shifts. Now at a stop here, I like the controls. I like the simplicity of this interior. Manual controls. You've got buttons for your screen right here. You have knobs right here. You've got a big, clear, easy to read display right here as well. You have your gauges if you want to keep an eye on those as well. So it's just simple, but practical at the same time. Minus the fact that this area right here is pretty tight. But hey, I mean, you got your drink, throw your stuff in there. You got a spot for your phone, you're all right. the bat, we're just in standard mode. And just with partial pedal, like not even halfway pedal. I lost my rear wheels. It definitely doesn't take much. It's cooler out today. These wheels or these tires are not heated up. But can you tell from this point of view drive just how stiff this suspension is? I mean, holy crap. With that stiffness comes amazing maneuverability though. This car is like spot on. Wherever you put the wheel, this car is gonna go. So if you get over the stiffness factor, which you got to expect with the Nismo track-inspired model, it drives phenomenally. Now I'm gonna put us in sport mode here. So automatically, transmission is gonna be more aggressive. It's gonna be a little bit more down-tuned from the Sport Plus. But this car handles so well. It brakes very well. You can steer and turn on the dime. It is like a little rocket, no joke. And these brakes are spot on. It grabs and it slows you down in no time. So with this twin turbo, definitely a different feeling than you get with the naturally aspirated V6. A little bit of pedal here, and there's hardly a delay at all. You do not have to wait for a big downshift. You don't have to wait for that turbo to spool up a bunch. I mean, you get power very quickly. Let me put us in Sport Plus. Holy crap. Woo, did you hear that and see that? It automatically bumped up. Those RPMs. And very aggressive downshifting. So Sport Plus is the track mode, essentially. Those RPMs are gonna stay high. Let's check out these paddles. I'm just gonna quick upshift and downshift. Okay, that was definitely a quick downshift. I have used the paddles in standard mode and they're not nearly as quick. So definitely something to think about. If you want to use the paddles, go into Sport Plus. Now people always say when you use the paddles, you are the transmission, but it's much more receptive in Sport Plus mode. I'm gonna go back to just drive. Oh my gosh, this car is intoxicating. It is so fun. Now the Z Performance is fun too, but this just has that something extra, and this ultra aggressive drive mode really takes it, and the stiff suspension, holy cow. Let's go back to normal sport. So responsive. It's definitely a loud car. There's a lot of noise. You get a lot of exhaust sound, which sounds great. And when it downshifts, you get some nice sound out of there too. But here's the deal. The cost, it's pretty excessive compared to even, you know, the performance model, but especially the sport model. The ride is much stiffer. If those two things don't matter to you, this is fantastic. Super fun to drive. Feels kind of retro, but still has enough tech. So to wrap things up on this 2024 Nissan Z NISMO, this is truly for the people that want a track ready or track feeling type of car, because let me tell you, this is stiff. And if it was my money, I would definitely rather save it and go for the performance, or even save like 20 grand and go for the sport model. And you can't even get a manual transmission. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. They really gave us something fun to drive, but took away the manual. So let me know what you think. If you want to see what the performance model is like, I've got a link in the description below showing off the performance from before. But what do you think of the Z? I know it's a little bit retro in some areas, or maybe still seems a little bit dated even though it is new, but this car drives so nice and it feels great. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day.